You're listening to the Run for Your Lives podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Daphne.
And I'm Pake.
And this is the Run for Your Lives podcast.
This episode is the slasher film Halloween Ends, directed by David Gordon Green and released October 14th, 2022. That's right, our Halloween on Halloween special ends the third year in a row. We've done it.
Yes.
Halloween ends with Halloween Ends on Halloween ending. I don't know. So yeah, happy Halloween, everybody. If you're listening to this the day this is recorded, we are releasing a rare Monday episode because today, if you're listening the day it's released, because if you're listening a couple days later, then I'm lying to you. But today is Monday, October 31st. It's Halloween. So
yes, don't eat too much candy. That's, my public service announcement.
I'm already seeing the Facebook posts from like police departments and nervous old people who are all like, oh my God, they're going to be putting like fake marijuana candies, the edibles into your children's stuff. And I'm like, please let me know what neighborhoods are passing those out.
Hank wants to know. Send him a list.
For research purposes, right? If there's people handing out edibles to your kids, I need to find out where those neighborhoods are, and I need to have a talk with those people.
Yeah, you might have to put a stop to that and confiscate.
I will go to all those neighborhoods and get all of those so your kids are safe. I will put that on myself.
Yes, he's going to take one for the team.
Mm-hmm. It's hard work being the hero.
Well, we knew that Halloween would come to an end.
Yes.
We were waiting to see what would happen. Because when we started this trilogy, it was back at the beginning of our podcast life. We had only been doing the show for a couple months when we did the first Halloween. Then last year, we did Halloween Kills. And if you want to go back...
Yeah. We did cover that one. I don't remember anything about that movie. I have repressed it. Legitimately, I was like, while watching this one, while taking notes, I'd be like, but then I was like, oh yeah, that did happen in Kills. Or like, that person was, and I was like, I think I repressed my memories of that movie because I didn't remember much of anything that happened.
Yeah, if you guys listen to that episode, then you already know. Pake and I were not big fans of that. We had lots of questions and lots of thoughts.
Luckily, this one's like the best movie that was ever made, right? So,
Pake,
see. We'll get into that.
I'm not sure. All I'm going to say is this. I'm not sure that going to Haddonfield was the right idea, and maybe we should have stayed in Derry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were so ready to get out of Derry, and it's like, we picked a worse place to go. Nothing good happens here.
No, it doesn't.
And not in like the fun, scary horror way, but more just like, why am I here?
Exactly.
What led me to make these choices in my life to where I'm sitting here doing this? No.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there are no red balloons. There's no dancing clown. And nobody floats. There are other things that happen, though.
Right. There's things.
Stuff and things.
For reasons.
That are...
I'm still trying to figure out.
Yes. You know what? I'm not sure if we need to figure it out. I think maybe we get through this, and very much like Halloween Kills, you repress it from your memory.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you go out on Halloween night and go to some of those houses and collect those items to save kids, that might help you in repressing your memory.
Yeah. Or it might make this movie better. I don't know.
It could. There is that potential.
Then it might be worth rewatching.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if even that could save it.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, before we rip this movie to shreds, let's have some production notes and synopsis and all of our little lead-ins that we like to do.
All right, let's do that because that's fun. So, Halloween Ends was filmed in Savannah, Georgia and Salt Lake City, Utah. It's the final movie in the new Halloween trilogy that started with Halloween in 2018, Halloween Kills in 2021, and we have Halloween Ends in 2022. The budget was $20 million. As of this recording, it has grossed about $59 million at the box office. It's 111 minutes long. Pake, I know you're just dying to give me the synopsis. Yes,
the synopsis.
Yes, you have to. Before you ask me if you have to.
Okay.
You have to.
All right, I'm not giving you much. The saga of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode comes to an end in a movie.
Yes.
Where things happen.
Yes.
That's about all that I mean. Yeah. It's over. Please. Now.
Oh man.
I remember seeing an early review before the movie was released that like somebody had like there was a line, I don't remember who it was it like comicbook.com or something maybe, that literally says just like, after watching this movie, I really hope that the title of the movie is not lying to us. Let it really have ended.
Oh, man. Well, I do have some information on that, but I'm going to hold on to it till the end of our podcast, or at least till the end of the discussion when I talk about production notes. I mean, when I talk about behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm still, dealing with the fact that we flipped those around.
Right.
And I still get them mixed up sometimes. Oh boy.
Right. Well, let's get into it. And of course, usually our character by character analysis, we have our doc that Daphne sets up beforehand and throws things together, usually before she's watched it. So she has like Laurie and Allison first, and I'm like, honestly, like 85% of my notes are about
and you've already forgotten his name.
Corey. I know, it took me a while. I was like, God, did I already forget his name? Like, the repression is already starting.
It is.
And we're not.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
just finished watching this movie an hour ago.
Yeah.
Right? An hour.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. If you guys love the movie and you're listening to this podcast and hoping that we feel the same way,
this is your warning that no, it's not going to go the way.
No.
Sorry. We try to be pretty positive over here, and this week we are very positive that this movie was bad. We are going to positively have fun talking about.
Yes, we will.
Everything.
We are. We're going to have a great time. Mm-hmm. I think there's going to be a lot of laughs.
Yeah, there's a little tease for you. There are some really good things in this movie that I did point out. There are things I enjoyed.
There are.
They're buried in there deep.
Yes.
But they're there, and I will talk about them. I will give them props where they're due.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you want to do this? Do we want to just stick with like our main characters we've been following, or do we just talk about Mr. Cunningham first?
I feel like we have to start with Corey, because honestly, he was kind of the main character, and I have to say the following.
Just out of nowhere.
What the fuck? I'm not even sure I have words. Like, I'm like, at the beginning there's this like overarching this music and a radio spiel, and I'm just like, what am I watching? This is not... And then we get the Halloween pumpkins, like, transitioning. It's like each pumpkin is opening its mouth and another one is coming out. This is just in the opening credits.
I was trying to find what they're like the metaphor or what that was supposed to mean. I couldn't figure it out. I stopped caring.
I think it's some sort of regeneration or rebirth. I don't know.
Or like the pumpkin is within us all. I don't know.
But
I actually do really enjoy the old school basic opening credits font and look, though. It is really cool. I do like that. It feels like an 70s, 80s movie.
It should, because they actually called on what they did for Halloween 3, The Season of the Witch, which is it's popular in some circles. It's a movie that's disconnected from Michael Myers and goes on a completely different road. They use some of those effects and font and everything in this one.
Mm-hmm. So I did enjoy that, but man, yeah, and we start with Corey. And like the overall, I was trying to figure out what this movie wanted to do with, because it was like, does it want us to feel sympathy for him? Because at first I'm like, yeah, a terrible thing happened and it was clearly an accident. And now he's suffering for that. So I feel sympathy. And he's the flawed hero that we want to root for because deep down he's a good guy. Until then they switch it and like, oh, actually deep down he's actually a monster because people think he is. So now he just is going to be. And he's going to make all kinds of crazy monstrous decisions out of nowhere, left field, with no context or reason why he would do that. And it just became this mess of like, why? What are they wanting to do with this character? Do they want us to feel sorry for him? Or do they just want us to hate him the whole time? Like, it's such a mixed signal. So I'm like, don't make him sympathetic with doing a terrible thing, but it being an accident, only for him to be like, oh, but really, he was a monster the whole time. I can't figure it out.
There were many times, even at the beginning, that I was questioning, am I watching a Halloween movie? And then there were these romantic undertones at times, and I just thought, I didn't understand what I was watching. I mean, I thought it was, I didn't understand why Corey was there. Like, what?
Yeah, it seemed, for being the end of the saga between Laurie and Michael, there was practically no Laurie and Michael until the end.
Yeah.
And it was so sudden, and
there was practically no Michael till almost halfway through it. Right.
I don't understand why. That's where my notes kind of devolved into. It's just, but why? Why do we care about this random guy? Why do we want to make the end of this saga all about some weirdo that we don't care about? And then you wanted to make us care about him, but then he's the villain now instead of
You connected him. They connected Corey to Allison and to Laurie.
In the, like, loosest way imaginable.
Suddenly, Allison thinks he's the next greatest thing in the world and wants to be with him and date him. Laurie's getting him to slash tires. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm so confused.
That's where this is at. What did we watch? Why did anything happen? But to wrap it around to the beginning, what happens? Where do we start with Corey? Of course, he is babysitting this kid, Jeremy.
He's a brat. Let's
he's
just say it. He
just
is
a little shit. I was like, what a rude. Yeah, I was like, Corey just needs a few bucks. He's not here to be roasted by this little turd, right? My God. But I thought it was funny. This was the first note I ever had in mind about this movie, and it was with the trailer like a month ago. But they have that little scene with Jeremy saying, Michael Myers kills babysitters, not kids. And I was like, tell that to Lumpy, my guy.
Yep. Tell that to Lumpy. You don't know what you think you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna say, little Jeremy, there's a lot of lessons that you could be learning. But Jeremy wasn't long for this world because he played a prank on Corey and locked him in what looked like the attic or something. I mean, that place was like a frickin' echo chamber. You were looking up and all the stairs were wrapping around, and yeah. I had a feeling something was going to happen with those stairs.
Yeah, they kept showing those stairs. I was like, yeah, they're going to make use of the extremely high staircase with a long fall. Yeah, we're just going to kill kids right off the top of the movie. And Michael Myers isn't even a factor yet. Let's just go for it. Which I'm like, oh no, you should feel shock about the child death at the beginning. But, I mean, they shaped that kid up to be kind of a little asshole. So,
they did.
Do I feel as bad? Nah. I'm somebody who works with kids. I shouldn't have that idea, that mentality. But,
shouldn't. I feel worse for Lumpy.
Yeah, exactly. Lumpy's the real VIP, and he hasn't been here in 2 movies.
I know.
Of course,
Yeah.
Corey, his mom said no TV, and then here you are watching The
Why would
Thing.
you do that? He's not
Why-
okay. Corey was not a very good babysitter.
No.
Okay. Again,
Of course, I guess they wrap me up that it was Jeremy's idea. He's like, no, I want to watch The Thing. And then Corey's a pushover, which I guess is part of, Corey is this like meek pushover, nerdy, whatever, who just, even this, whatever, tiny child like Jeremy can just walk all over him. And so then it's this weird, so it's like, oh no, evil can lurk within anybody, even those you most unsuspect, I guess is what they're going for. I don't know. There's a lot of metaphors I'm trying to pick up on in this movie that are real mixed and weird.
Are you trying to find metaphors that don't exist?
I'm just reaching into candy bowls, trying to pull out some kind of peanut butter cup of knowledge and worth in this movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not sure you're gonna to find that. What I will say is I think that what they tried to do with Corey babysitting is to take us back to the original Halloween, because Laurie Strode was actually babysitting Lindsay the first time that Michael came for her, attacked her. And so I think they were trying to tie that a little bit or give us like an Easter egg or...
Yeah, there's a lot of like little things like that. But
not enough to add up to anything that makes me that excited.
Right. Like even nodding just to this own like trilogy here. When Corey's out riding his bike to work, we see that love lives today. That was like graffiti written on the wall, which is a callback to a whole thing that was real bad in Halloween Kills. I guess the people of the town are trying to turn things around, but also they're totally not, because like people are dying. They're like that. That's what I'm trying. Is like Michael Myers isn't here. He hasn't been here for 4 years, but now people are just like killing themselves and each other, and we're still blaming this curse of Michael Myers and the fear that's being held, over the town. I'm like, okay, I guess.
And like they want to villainize Corey for an accident because Michael Myers hasn't been around and they need a villain. Like they need a boogeyman, so they're looking at him as the boogeyman.
Right.
And it's a terrifying accident, which we actually haven't told you yet what the accident was, but we've kind of alluded to it.
Yeah.
Jeremy locks Corey. For some reason, I want to call him Oscar. I don't know why. But, so Jeremy locks Corey in a room upstairs. I think it was the attic. And Jeremy's parents come home during this time, and Corey's trying to get out, and he's kicking the door and trying to get out. Jeremy is not letting him out. He's just being a little shit. But in pushing the door open and getting it kicked open, it knocks Jeremy over the staircase. And so as his parents are walking into the house, they see their son pummel to his death.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the last line that Corey did say before that happened was literally, "I'm gonna kill you, Jeremy!" So, it's not the best look.
And he's holding a knife. Like, I don't... It just looks bad, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. But we pick back up with Corey, this like 4 years later. He's working at this mechanic shop with his stepdad.
Who I actually liked. His stepdad was a nice man.
He was. He had sympathy for him. He's kind of looking out for him. But Corey's looked at very poorly in the eyes of the whole town. He's just the babysitter who killed the kid. Like that's what he's known at. Even though it seemingly he was released, it was ruled as an accident. But impressions are going to be everything with the rest of the town. That's just what they're going to hold over him. And so, he runs into these like high school kids, these seniors, which I was like, if I can suggest the first new victims of Michael Myers on his return. Oh my God. I have some ideas.
Yep. I actually wrote in my notes, those 4 can be on Michael's buffet table anytime soon. Right. Like, I'm down for this. Take them out. There was one girl out of the 4 that seemed somewhat like she wasn't as bad as the rest of them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter when you're guilt by association and you're
Right.
not doing anything to really stop what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have my note. This is this douche canoe in the Letterman would be a fantastic return to form for Myers.
Yes.
Which then, because they're picking on Corey, I said he calls Corey a pedo because he killed Jeremy. I was like, I don't think this guy knows what words mean.
No, definitely not. And what he wants to do is get alcohol, and that's not going to help. He doesn't have enough brain cells. If he, drinks a little more, he's going to be, even more useless.
Yeah, and Corey's just in this weird. And then why his mother? The storyline with his mother, I don't understand.
My God.
Like, she's just unbearable. Who's that you're texting? Who are you texting? Why is it what are you doing? I'm like, oh my God. Why? It's like, why is he still living at home?
I'd like for his mother and Eddie Kaspbrak's mother to get together and just, talk about shit, because they need to get that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's and then shithead with his slash tires on his car, gets that car brought to the mechanic shop there that Corey works at. He has to deal with that. That's how they know Corey then works there, so they hunt him down there later. Sure.
I did like that Laurie Strode gave Corey the knife and was like,
yes, no, that was pretty great.
Are you going to do this or me?
Laurie knows exactly what needs to be done in this situation.
Always.
I completely agree with her thought process here.
Yes.
That is the right thing to do. Yeah, but so they spend this whole movie like making you feel bad for Corey, but then switch it up. Like the scene where he runs into Jeremy's mom at the bar, at the party, was honestly, it's just not a good situation, but like I don't blame her for her reaction. Like she's valid in her grief and frustration. Mm-hmm. Sucks for Corey. It's a bad situation. It's a weight that he has to carry with him. So nobody's in the wrong there. Like, I feel like in your life, you have to try to do the best you can to overcome, things are going to weigh on you, but like Corey still has a life to live.
He's trying to live. And I feel like this was the first opportunity that we were able to see Corey kind of live a little bit when Allison takes him to the party. And it's all fine when he's wearing the mask. It's when he takes it off that there's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, we spend all that time like, okay, I really feel for Corey in these moments. I'm like, okay, he's been dealt a pretty rough hand.
Mm-hmm.
And, one accident, which as terrible of a thing that it is, and he could have handled things way better. Like, yeah, his actions did lead to certain consequences. If that's something like that happens, if you don't think ahead, like, oh, it's going to knock the kid over the stairs. You don't think something like that.
No.
But he's kicking in this door. Like, literally what you do is you wait for the parents to show up and be like, your little shit locked me in here and you're going to deal with that now. Bye. Mm-hmm. He handled it not the best.
No, he seemed scared. Like, he was pissed. He was scared. Yeah.
So, yeah, you spend this whole, like, first part of this movie, like, really feeling for him. And then you have that moment, like, once he meets Michael Myers, it just becomes weird. And I was trying to figure out, like, what happened. It was like, was he having, like, a life flashing before his eyes moment? Or was, like, Michael Myers seeing his life through his eyes and then let him go? Both?
I don't know.
I don't know what they were going for.
Pake, for part of the movie, I questioned whether Michael was real or if it was just in his head.
Right. Yeah, right. Like, he just imagined Michael Myers living in this sewer, like Pennywise.
Exactly. Wait, okay. So
when it focused on the sewer, I was like, wait, are we getting It Chapter 3, surprisingly? Because
I'm down
with that, because I feel like that's probably going to be way better than what we're about to do.
Considering we just left Derry, but we already have an overbearing mother again. We're in the sewer.
Hiya, Corey. Want a balloon?
Exactly. Yeah.
Man.
I questioned whether or not Michael Myers was real or in his head. There were a couple of things I questioned.
Yeah. But I was trying to decide what happened between them. Like, it's almost, and they never gave a clear answer.
No. It's
like,
almost
did Michael possess him, because like Lori like saw like what she says, like it was Michael's eyes, and then like Jeremy's dad is like, that's not the same kid that I knew before.
Yeah.
But then also it's clearly Corey working out his whole, this whole town hates me and thinks I'm a killer, so I'll show them that I really am, or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of mixed, like, what were they going for? Pick something and stick with it, because you just made it confusing is what they did.
Yeah. Well, we didn't even mention how he ended up meeting Michael in the first place. Is those bullies, again, basically, again, another connection, pushed him over the railing of a bridge. Mm-hmm. Just saying. Another
guy down there just watches Corey fall off the bridge and then sees him grabbed and dragged into the sewer, and he's sitting there like, I ain't seen shit. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they didn't really show us Michael until Corey met him. We didn't know. Yeah. I mean, for all we knew, the homeless guy could have been Michael Myers. Not really. But, you know, at one point, I think I wrote in my notes. Yeah, he said he was Michael Myers.
But yeah, so then I just spent the whole time, I was like, what did Michael do to him? Did he make him into something else? Did he instill something that was already in him? Whatever he did, he made him not need his glasses anymore, apparently.
Yeah, which is good.
He fixed his eyesight.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a supernatural effect of Michael Myers. If you survive an encounter with Michael Myers, your eyes go back to 20.
Oh, is that all I need to do? Okay, that's good. That's good to know.
Uh-huh. So yeah, I had no idea where this was going. And even after I finished it, I have no idea where it was going. But yeah, because even like Lori can like sense something in him, and it's like...
Yeah, at that point she starts getting really worried. Because he and Allison are getting real cozy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and which... Some great date ideas. Like, hey, let me take you to the house where I killed that kid.
That no one would want.
How romantic. Which then the house is all empty. I was like, it's understandable the family moved. A lot of hard, memories and feelings that go into it, emotions that are tied to places. But why'd they leave the piano? Because they took everything else.
Yeah, I don't know why they.
And also, why is nobody trying to resell that gorgeous house?
I know.
There should be realtors just like crawling over that place like spiders, right?
Yeah. Maybe.
Not just webs everywhere.
No.
The house is too nice to have just been like, oh, one person died in it. It's off the market forever.
Yeah.
No, never happened.
It was a tragedy. I mean, and it was an accident. It wasn't done out of malice. It just happened. It's unfortunate and it's so tragic, but yeah, it's a beautiful house. But why he took her there, I have no idea. And later on, he's there and he's talking to Lori, but I don't think Lori was really there. I'm not sure.
I think she was. She just like left out that window.
I don't know, Pake.
Which, who knows? Again, they leave things so open-ended and not in a good way, where it's like, no, you're not making me think. You're just making me confused and mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when he's with Allison, like at the diner or at the party or all these, like every interaction with anybody, I was like, why is there so much unnecessary tension between characters in almost every scene in this movie? It's like, does everyone in Haddonfield just like inherently suck? Like, what is happening?
Everyone is grumpy. I mean, they went to the top of, I think it was a radio station, and he's talking to Allison about, looking up at the tower, and tells her some story, and then he jumps down, and the DJ comes out and starts yelling at him. I know who you are, and I know who you are, too, and I think Allison, and we'll talk more about Allison, because I got some things to say.
Yeah.
I think she connected with Corey because she saw someone who understood how it felt to be stared at in the town. Mm-hmm. I think she was tired of it because she had to deal with it. And I think she found a kindred spirit in him because he knows what it's like to be the town pariah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about Allison a little bit later, but
Yeah, she had some shit going on.
Mm-hmm. Man, there's so many like weird interactions, because then we have the interaction with Doug, the police officer who I guess Allison was dating, and then they broke up, but this guy's completely unaware that they broke up.
And why on earth was she with him? Allison, come on. He was a douche. I don't get it. Like, yeah, there's just shit.
Yeah, and then he like follows them home and then is following Corey, which was like, hey, Doug, she's not your property to protect, so you shouldn't follow Corey, you dweeb. So also don't feel bad for him, but then that whole scene where then he lures Doug into that sewer area, and I was like, but why? And again, it was so Corey wants to be Michael Myers now. Like, he just makes it as like, I'm gonna because he goes, show me how to do it. And it's like, now you're looking at this guy who killed your girlfriend's parents as your like mentor. You're so haunted by people hating you for accidentally causing someone's death. So like, fuck it, let's just become a serial killer for real. That sounds fun, right?
No.
I don't know about that. And there's like this supernatural element to Myers, because you see as he's killing Doug, he's like regaining power, or at least I thought. But then Corey goes back later, and it was like just easily like takes him down on the ground and takes his mask away. Like, ha!
I didn't understand
unless
that.
Michael wanted him to do that, then that might make more sense. But if not, then it's just real dumb. I mean, it's kind of dumb no matter what, but it's extra dumb if he was able to overpower Michael Myers and take his mask away that easily.
Well, that mask was kind of a power thing from Michael. And also, I think killing people, like, almost reinvigorates him.
Yeah.
Because you could see when he was killing Doug that he was getting, you know, he was becoming more of himself again. But... Yeah, again, I don't know. Other than there's this connection. Maybe it's like Harry Potter and Voldemort. There's a connection between the two after he grabbed his throat and saw his life. I don't know. Mm-hmm. That might make more sense than anything else.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know
what they're going. That's never been established that like Michael Myers can like possess people and see into their lives. And
no, it hasn't.
No. So I don't know what's unlock the evil with them. I don't know. Again, a lot of I don't know. Explain this movie. I don't know. Stop. You heard.
I can't answer the question.
Yeah, and so then they talk with Jeremy's dad, and then I'm like, oh, so this is another awkwardly heavy-handed metaphor for our prejudices, and jumping to conclusions and assumptions about people can end up causing more harm than good in the end, because they spent so much time saying this guy was the devil, so now he really is. But if they would have forgave him, then everything would be fine. I don't know.
Well, and he wanted to forgive him, but the problem is he saw him and he had those eyes. The Michael eyes.
Right. So then I was like, so Corey's being possessed, but also he's like very much his own person the whole time too. So what are they doing?
I don't know. I mean, maybe this was some sort of play on idle hands where the hand gets possessed. I don't know.
And then he just goes on a murder spree that's not really there's really no connection. I mean, yeah, totally his mom have enough of her. It's like,
oh, she was awful. He did not take out his stepdad though.
He did not.
That was,
and then the radio guy. It's like, yeah, he yelled at me, so I'm gonna kill him.
Yes.
Surprised he didn't go after Jeremy's mom.
Yeah.
But then the doctor, I was like, he has no connection to him other than maybe Allison was mad that she didn't get the promotion.
Well, we figured out why she didn't get the promotion. Deb was having a bang with him.
Yeah, sleazy doctor promoting and sleeping with the charge nurse. Stabby? Yep, stabby indeed. But Corey, not Michael. Because Michael then shows up and gets the nurse. I was like, tag team serial killers. It still makes
no sense. I know. And if we're wrong, if you're listening to this and you think, well, I don't know, but you guys are wrong, and here's why, please do not hesitate to send those in. We'd love to
love
find
some
out.
explanations that we can grasp onto.
Because I have nothing left to grasp onto. All I have are straws. There's nothing. Nothing connects. I'm trying to connect things, but it doesn't make any sense.
Right. Speaking of the radio station, when Corey climbs down and he kind of like falls onto the ground, he does that classic Michael Myers like sit up. I was like, very on the nose, but I'll allow it. Yeah. It's fun enough, I guess.
Yeah.
But then, the thing with his mom, what? Just weird ass. I can smell her on you. She's trying to take me away from you, isn't she? It's like, oh, gross. What is how? You're mad at your adult son for dating a woman, you fucking weirdo?
That's just...
And she, like, kisses him on the lips. I was like, oh, it's the Beverly and her dad gender swapped. That's what's going on here. My God. And then his stepdad's in the corner, like, basically saying, get out while you still can. Yes. There's no hope for me, but run.
Find love. I hope you find love. And I'm thinking, you poor man. There's a point later where his stepdad's at the auto yard and just watching movies. And I'm thinking, that's his happy place.
I know. He doesn't want to go back home to that insane person. Just let him sit and watch his action movies in peace.
Yes. He loves
all this man needs.
He loves some Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I know.
I liked him. He was such a nice man. I mean, he was. He gave him the dirt bike, and I mean that he's trying to help him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then after that is his conversation with Lori, which whether she was there or not, the whole thing was just dumb anyway. I don't want you anywhere near my granddaughter. I'm going to be everywhere near your granddaughter. Basically, I don't know. It's like dialogue wasn't even good. If I can't have her, nobody will. Basically, or just these weird threats, and it's like you got to let go of her because she's got me now. It's like who is this person? Because this is not Corey that we saw at the beginning of the movie.
No,
and they're trying to like lead us to like so it's Michael Myers, but it's also totally not. It's what happened? I don't get. And he's sleeping in the spot where like Jeremy died. I'm like, that's not fucking creepy at all.
It's just I feel like I'm just saying what the fuck over and over again. That's watching this movie.
Kinda all it is.
Well, he did.
The only other notes I have on Corey specifically is the stuff I did like, although one of them was really dumb, but it was with his killing spree. You know, he's got the seniors, the Dick Brigade. Which one thing was dumb about it, though. I was just like, when being chased by a truck in a lot, make sure you run in a straight line in the open space towards like locked gate. Do not turn and go between any other cars that are, don't go into a smaller space where the truck can't get to at all. And if you do get over the fence, then just stand there and scream. Definitely don't move half a foot away to safety. Don't do that.
That honestly is an old Friday the 13th trope. Where girls are running into the woods wearing high heel shoes or something ridiculous.
Right. But with the killings themselves, I mean, the girl under the fence and squishing her is like, it was fine. It was fine. Yeah. Him stomping her and running over, cool. But like drumstick through the eye, cool. The blowtorch to the mouth, creative and new, and I will give them props for that. That was not what I expected, and that was cool. That dumbass shot Corey's stepdad like a moron.
And Corey's stepdad was just trying to save him. Like he was trying to save him. That's why he stood up and oh man.
So the blowtorch thing, I didn't see that coming. And that was literally like it's like nearing the end of the movie, and that's finally the first time I literally went, Whoa. That's cool. Like, okay, what's happening? Oh my God. And then Willie's death coming up there, the DJ. That was also awesome.
I thought so too. Cutting the tongue out and it's spinning around.
Because he talks way too much.
He does.
Yeah, and it's just making the needle bounce around to different songs and places on the record. 5 stars for that one.
Yeah, I liked that as well. It's like you're going to shut him up. Even if he does survive through it, he's not going to be able to talk. So he's not going to be able to be a pain in the ass anymore.
Right. So that was cool. And I could tell, like, I feel like the recording, like what we heard was legit, like this needle bouncing around on different places. Like it wasn't like sound that was filtered in, because sometimes it would skip to this song and then over here, and then it would be off and it would just be crackles and then it would go back. So I was like, that was very well done.
Yeah, I liked that. That was definitely a high point.
But yeah, that's what I got for Corey. You were going to say something. I think I cut you off. Sorry, but
I don't remember what it is. And you know what? That doesn't say much, does it? I mean, really? I do feel like Corey went down, you know, he had a checklist of everyone that wronged him, even his own mother.
Mm-hmm.
He'd had enough of her henpecking. It's like, okay, thank you so much. I don't have to listen to her anymore. Thank you, because I couldn't stand it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. She'd walk into a scene and be like, oh, shut up. Just immediately.
Like, please don't. Just seeing her face. She did the annoying mother so well. Oh, so good. That was a high point. Despite the annoyance, she definitely killed it in that role. Like, that was definitely for sure. She was nailing it.
Right.
So
no wonder that guy grew up to become a serial killer. Like,
oh my God.
How do you live with her?
I'm surprised he made it. So who do you want to go to first? Allison or Lori?
I have more on Lori.
Okay.
I don't have a lot on Allison.
I don't either, because I want to know where Allison went.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's do Allison and knock it out real quick. We can wrap on Lori, because maybe there's some better nuggets in there. Maybe.
I don't know.
Because with Allison, it's literally, look what they've done to my girl. Look how they've butchered my girl, right? Like,
yeah.
What did they do to Allison? She's like, ooh, bad boy. Yeah, let's stick with him and his entire field of red flags, and we're just going to hate everyone together.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm watching her, I'm thinking, remember when we covered Halloween and we wanted a really cool story arc for Allison?
We didn't
so much for that, huh?
We didn't get it. And I loved Allison in that first movie. She was fantastic. They just didn't give Andy Manichak anything to do. No.
It was legitimately her whole arc. Remember, like, she was like, oh, she's going to be the badass who, like, takes after her grandmother, and she's going to be the one to take down Michael Myers, and she's going to be the heroic figure. No. And instead we got, stop telling me what to do, Grandma.
Emo.
I hate you.
Emo.
I hate everyone. I'm going to date this guy who's clearly really messed up in the head, and nobody could tell me different. Meh. And that's all we got of her this movie, and it was awful.
Oh, I hated it. I don't know where she went. She just disappeared. Mm-hmm. I'm like, Allison, come back to us.
Right. How she even, like, meets Corey. I mean, because, like, Lori brings him to the emergency room, but then I was so confused what even happened in that doctor's room. It brought them together very awkwardly, but, like, the doctor's, like, trying to give him, like, a suture, and then, like, she did something, and then they dropped
the tray went flying.
I was like, I don't even know what just happened. Okay.
The doctor was mean to her anyway. He was not good.
No.
Yeah, no. He definitely was not. And I remember Michael O'Leary, he played Dr. Mathis. I remember him on Guiding Light, because I used to watch that, which our friend Jason, I know, has watched soap operas, so he probably knows who he is. He played Rick Bauer on Guiding Light. Watching him in this role, he's definitely a lot older than when I saw him on Guiding Light, but he played the asshole doctor pretty well, I thought. Yeah. But I
wasn't super upset about him being dead either.
Nope, I was ready for him to go too. And Deb, the other, I'm not sure if Allison was a nurse or a medical assistant or what she was doing. But Deb, I didn't like her either. And it wasn't hard to figure out how she got promoted.
Yeah. I just think everyone in Haddonfield just sucks.
Yeah.
Like, there's nobody.
Like, why are you still there, Allison? I wondered at one point, I actually wrote down, why are Lori and Allison still in Haddonfield? It is the home of so many horrible memories for both of them.
You know, if she's really trying to let go, if Lori is, then move. Should be step number 1.
Yeah, no. But at least Allison at the end does get out.
Yeah.
And she has that bonding moment with Lori when they finish off Michael Myers, which was interesting.
Yep.
And that's about all I have on Allison.
Yeah, I didn't have much. Yeah, it literally kind of pulled down to, I was like, well, the Allison that we had in the last two movies was just nowhere to be seen.
Nope. She was gone.
Mm-hmm.
At least Laurie Strode, and that's where we're going next, didn't spend the movie in the hospital.
Yeah, that was better. Instead, she spent the movie stalking her daughter's boyfriend and writing a memoir. So, you know.
Oh, God, the memoir.
There's that.
The memoir. Yes. Delightful, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was it called?
It was real bad. I didn't even write it down. But I think it
Stalkers,
was just like
Stalkers, Saviors, and Sam Hain.
Yeah. Should have chopped that a little bit more. Yeah, so it's been 4 years after the events of Halloween Kills. And Laurie has just randomly decided to stop fearing Michael. She's working on a memoir, trying to let things go. Allison's living with her. They're just trying to live a normal life. But Haddonfield is still under this curse of Myers, though he hasn't actually done anything for 4 years. You know, we get the situation with Jeremy. We get this couple that's shot in a car. There's a lady hanging on her porch. And it's all by fear or different misunderstandings. And every time Halloween comes around, people are still in just like high tension, even though nothing's happening.
Michael hasn't been seen for 4 years. It's like he died, which is why I wondered if he was real. It's crazy, but when you watch this movie, you do start to wonder what's real.
Right. And so they're just trying to live a normal life, Halloween party and stuff coming up. Laurie does a worse number on that pie than Sharon from Facebook did. You can't blame Marie Callender's for that one.
Nope, you cannot.
If you know, you know what that reference is. But yeah, she goes for the slashing the tires, which we said immediately, yes, the correct thing. And then the rest of the movie for her is just a series of awkward interactions. Her and Frank in the grocery store, I was like, are these adults or like 10-year-olds? Where it's like, so how are you? I haven't talked to you in a while, and I think you're pretty. Your hair is nice. Like, what is going on? I'm like, these are like
adults,
very well established adults.
Yeah, they should.
Why are they acting like middle schoolers who like each other?
Yeah. I just wanted them to get together. I'm like, you obviously like each other. Just get together and be happy. You've had such a miserable life. I'm happy that he lived through Dr. Zartan's craziness. But how are you guys not together yet? Explain it to me.
Yeah, and then she goes outside, and there's the lady that was stabbed in the neck and kills. Was it kills? Or the first one? I don't remember. But anyway, I guess she survived, and now her sister is just rudely blaming Laurie for all of it. And then even when she goes to talk to Corey's mom is blaming her for everything. It's like, people love blaming Laurie for Michael Myers.
They do.
What kind of sense does that even make?
She was just babysitting. She was a high school student with her two friends. They were, her friend Annie was babysitting. They were babysitting on Halloween.
They expect? You should have let him kill you all those years ago. So now he's not terrorizing us. Like, what do you expect from her? I don't understand that. Like, why is everybody so mad at Laurie because of Michael Myers? Remember that guy that tried to kill you and you survived? How dare you?
How dare you did that? How dare you fight? Yeah, I found that. I mean, I was happy that the lady survived, but I know her husband passed away, and I remember this because it was near Laurie's house.
Yeah.
The reinforced steel house, basically. And I'm just like, Laurie, how do you not tell them to fuck off? But yet she doesn't. She just looks upset, and the sheriff is looking at her as this is happening. And I just felt bad, Shouldn't have to go through all that shit. Frank is just seeing her. Just a moment ago, they had their awkward 10-year-old discussion in the grocery store, and then the next minute she's getting accosted. She's getting a little joy in her life, and then it's taken away suddenly by A woman who's like, well, what makes you laugh in the grocery store? It made no sense, that question.
Right.
Like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Poor Lori.
Okay, what did you think of her great suicide fake out?
Okay, so that was my next note anyway. That's where I was gonna go. So perfect. I don't even know how to. I didn't even know how to write notes for that whole scene. I don't like where Corey dies and the whole thing. I was like, what was the point of a fake suicide call just to get a jump on him? Because I guess she knew he was in the house. But then we see that she really did make the phone call because she wanted the police to show up to get Michael or Corey or whoever she thought was there after she took care of him. I don't know. It was like clearly she had a plan, but we're not going to get led into what it was actually about. We're not going to get to know why. Because then she did. And then that whole scene ends with this drama angle of making Allison think that Lori killed Corey. Because Allison's just going to ignore the fact that Corey's in like a jumpsuit with a Michael Myers mask right there next to him. Like,
and yet she was ignoring it.
She's fully ignoring. It's like that whole scene, I guess, was supposed to be impactful, and it really all just came across as very blah.
Yeah. Like,
it ended, and I was like, I don't care. Like, man, I should feel bad that, like, oh no, Corey's dead, and Lori's granddaughter hates her because she thinks she killed her psycho boyfriend, but nope, don't care. No. Don't feel anything about any of this.
No. But then she gets Michael basically knifed to the table.
Yeah, which the fact that Lori clearly has no idea how to microwave things, because it always ends in food exploding, is what gives her the jump on Michael. I was like, that's what they went with.
Yep.
A team of writers literally went, yep, that works. Put it in the script.
Yeah. And we saw it earlier that she has trouble in the microwave.
That's what I say. It's been established, but they're like, out of all the reasons for a callback, they're like, the exploding food in the microwave thing. That's what we're going to go with.
We're going to do that.
It's like, is it just a really bad microwave? I
question her cooking skills because she leaves pies in the oven when she's
sharing to that pie.
Yeah.
Man. But yeah, you're saying, she does finally get Michael after all these years, petting him to the table, getting some stabs in, even slits his throat. And he's still going to choke her out, right?
Yeah. And then she was going to let him. And Allison comes in and saves the day at the end. And then they slice Michael's wrist together and he bleeds out. And there's this nice reflection in the blood of them standing over him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then Frank called Allison. And I guess finding out that Lori made a suicide phone call lets her know that Corey was trying to kill her and something Michael, because logic, I don't know.
Well, Michael found his way out of the sewers and went to Lori's house. That in itself is a miracle.
Right.
And so then...
Look at his mask back.
Yeah. What did you think about the car parade with Michael on top of the car? And then, and the community walking...
Yeah, they have a Michael's Dead parade at midnight, showing this gruesome dead body off to all the citizens.
Yes.
And they gather, and they march, because, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then they crowd surf Michael Myers into a big old grinder, chop him up into little pieces, and we lift the curse and free everyone from the evil and fear.
Oh my God, is that like killing Pennywise and we lift the fall from Derry?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what was the best part of all of that?
It's over.
No, there's one thing that I liked. One thing. We got to see Julian.
Yeah, Julian he was there for like a second.
Yep, that.
It's like, you brought my boy. You brought the kid that gets babysitted that I like.
Yes.
He doesn't have a single line, and he's there for 3 seconds, but he's there.
He's there.
I'll take it.
I was happy. I'm like, Julian! Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that. We saw Sheriff Barker also. So we saw him for a minute, and I'm like, you show us these characters that we've seen in the other movies, but you don't give them to us for very long, so we can't celebrate that we're seeing them. It's just kind of like, oh, Julian, and now we're back to the other stuff. Okay. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. It's appreciated.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I was going to think if I had any other notes on characters. Michael Myers covered his stuff other than after Corey dies, quote unquote, the real Michael shows up and then kills Corey again because he was somehow actually still alive.
I don't...
because that can happen.
Yeah, I don't think so. He wasn't shot with an adrenaline...
Right.
He didn't get an adrenaline shot, so I don't know.
I don't know. It's just, do we just need that effect of Michael killing Corey? Then you should have done it differently. You shouldn't have had Laurie didn't even kill him. He killed himself to make Allison think Laurie killed him.
Yeah, I don't know what is going to matter.
You should have just had Michael Myers show up and then kill him. And
yes.
Yes. But then it seems like Michael wanted him to be was happy mentoring him, but then he stole his mask, so that maybe he's mad. Again,
I don't know.
They set so many things up to where it should make sense. They're acting like it does, but if you really think about it, none of
you're
this
not supposed to
tracks at all.
Peg, you're not supposed to think about it. I think is the number one thing. Don't think about it. Don't think about it at all. Just don't. Because if you don't think about it, then you can't be disappointed. And you can't, continue to question what the hell you just watched.
Right. I watched a movie. Watch something.
I know we have friends who have watched this movie and have been waiting for us to podcast about it because they know us and they know how we're going to feel.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I knew. As soon as early reviews started coming in, I was like, this is going to be a fun podcast just for us to trash it.
I know.
I already know.
Yeah.
I don't even have any other notes other than we get Willie the Kid, the DJ, because we keep hearing him early in the movie and we see his billboard and all that.
We heard him blathering at the beginning.
Yeah, I was like, he's showing up in this movie, right? And then I was like, wait, have we already seen him? I was like, was he in the second one?
One of the funniest things that I thought, Allison's joke about why can't a bike stand on its own? Because it's too tired.
Yeah, that's a classic. I've known that since I was 4. I don't know. Maybe.
The other thing I thought was funny was Corey's mother said, boys who keep secrets don't get custard for dessert. And my thought was, fuck custard. It's gross and his mom is a bitch. That's true. Custard is gross.
I like frozen custard.
And that's it. I don't have any other notes, Peg. Other than I titled my document for this, Halloween ends, thank God.
Yeah. No, what I was saying earlier, because we kept seeing him, hearing him, he popped up the billboard and everything. I was like, he's going to show up. But then I had to actually question. I was like, was he in the second one? Did we already see him? And I was like, I don't remember. And then I was like, that's when I was like, I think I've repressed the whole second movie. I remember because I forgot that Cameron was killed until they had a flashback early, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that happened."
Yeah,
lots
of things happened. Yeah,
but yeah,
I choose to forget about it. Let's just pretend that we had the original Halloween, we had the new Halloween 2018, and that's what we had. Let's pretend that that's it. The beginning and the end. And these two, I don't know. I started to think maybe they were just hurrying because they want to reboot the franchise anyway. And they're just like, let's just throw things at a wall and see what sticks. That's all I had except for some behind the scenes things.
All right.
Are we ready for that?
Let's do it. I'm noted out.
Okay. Well, this is the lowest kill count for Michael Myers in any Halloween film. He only killed Officer Doug, Nurse Deb, and Corey Cunningham. Majority of the kills in this movie are from Corey himself. The previous record holder was the original Halloween with 5 kills and 1 dog. Laurie Strode and Lindsay are the only characters to survive from Halloween 1978 to the end of Halloween Ends 2022. This is the only film to feature another killer alongside Michael Myers, as well as to have Michael team up with him on a few of the kills. Although we did have Deputy Hawkins getting stabbed in the last film by Dr. Sartan, Hawkins was alive. Yay! Thank God. The movie that Corey and Jeremy are watching is The Thing, 1982, which is another movie by John Carpenter. Corey primarily uses Michael's killing methods to take revenge on people who have tormented or intimidated him. However, two characters who he didn't kill were Mr. and Mrs. Allen, Jeremy's parents, even though Mrs. Allen confronts and berates him for being at that party. It had been 4 years. I mean, there's no shelf life on grief, but,
right.
You know. Laurie has a picture. It's a framed photo of her and Annie and Linda in her house. It was a promo photo that was used in the original Halloween. The use of a vehicle tow truck to attack and kill characters is a nod to Christine, which was directed by John Carpenter, which led me to believe, was this movie a love letter to John Carpenter? Because it seems like there were a lot of connections.
Terrible love letter.
Yeah.
If you're going to write a love letter to somebody, make it good.
Exactly.
This is what you think of me?
Yeah. The movie ends on a series of shots of empty rooms in Laurie's house, which was similar to Halloween 1978. Sandra somehow survived getting stabbed in the neck and left to bleed out. Brings the Halloween kill count down from 28 to 27. She and her husband lived together, and Michael did, we thought, murder both of them, but she somehow survived. There is a scene with Michael trying to put Laurie's hand in a garbage disposal. It's similar to a scene in Halloween H2O, where Michael tries to put Charlie's hand inside of it. December 2021, it was revealed that Kyle Richards was going to come back and play Lindsay once again. Initially, they weren't planning to have her return, but she had such a positive reception in the last Halloween movie, which was Halloween Kills, that they decided to rewrite the script to include her, which is good. It didn't do anything. I mean, she was there. She didn't do anything. Nick Castle has a non-Michael Myers cameo for the first time in the trilogy as a partygoer who flashes his costume at Corey and says, "See anything you like." It's a nod to an iconic line that Linda said in the original Halloween.
I didn't recognize who that was, so that makes that scene make more sense, because at first I was like, well, that was weird, and then I just moved on from it. But it's like a cameo and reference. It makes more sense. Yeah. I get that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, well, that was weird. I don't know who this guy is or what that was about, but all right.
Yeah. It's a quick cameo, not like Andy Machete, in the grocery store or in the pharmacy for, 20 years, 27 years looking for something. So, I know you've been waiting to know about the future of this film series, this franchise. So here it is. When asked whether this film will be the last film in the series, Jason Blum, who's a producer at Blumhouse, confirmed there'll probably be more films because Malik Akkad, who is the son of Mustafa Akkad, who was involved with the original movies, has a clause prohibiting Michael Myers to be killed. And what he does, only he knows, but we are done. Any future films will likely follow a separate continuity due to Michael's unambiguous death in this film. Ends will be the last Halloween movie under Blumhouse. The rights are going to revert back to Malik Akkad. When Akkad himself was asked about the future of the franchise after Ends, he half-jokingly quoted his late father, Mustafa Akkad, who had always quoted series star Donald Pleasance. When asked how many Halloween movies he was going to make, he laughed and said, quote, "I'm going to stop at 22. I don't think we're going to see Laurie Strode again. I think this is the end of that story. However, if they want to do something else, okay.
I guess.
I just hope that they look at this film and the last one and think, we need to put more effort into the writing of these movies and the story of these movies versus throwing something out there to finish a trilogy.
Yeah. Because it doesn't give me high hopes for anything else Halloween related after these at all.
No. Oh my God, no. It makes me want to go back and watch the original Halloween just so I can see something that was so well done. Man. So that's all I have, Pake. I feel like this has been our thing to put Halloween out on Halloween. I don't think we're getting another one for next year. So we either need to change our tradition or go back to the earlier movie.
We might do like 78 Halloween next year. It could be fun.
Yeah, that could be fun. I think you might enjoy it. Have you seen it?
A long time ago.
Okay.
I don't remember much about it.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be good. But we are done with this Blumhouse trilogy.
Yes. It started
which
so well.
Will just be a Blumhouse movie. We're gonna 2018.
Yep.
They set Michael Myers on fire in that basement, and then maybe he got out. The end.
Yep. That's how it goes.
Right. I'm just ignoring that these last two ever even happened, I think, after this recording.
I'm really wondering, though, what our listeners think of this.
I wonder.
Wow. I guess we're going to find out.
Speak of the devil, man. It's like you summoned the feedback phone.
I did. It's just because I want to know.
Well, let me answer that and we'll find out.
All right.
All right. Check the feedback phone. Looks like we got some messages. Let's see who people we've ruined their entire lives today.
I'm really surprised that we got any.
Right.
I thought people would just be instantly trying to erase this movie from their memories, like we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. So let's hear from which of our friends and listeners we question their taste, or they might not be friends with us anymore after this. Who knows? I hope so, but yeah, we'll get into it and see. All right, so let's get into this first one. This one comes from our friend Jamie. It says, I left the theater with an overall good feeling about the movie. Are you okay? Do you blink twice? No, I'm kidding. But no, after that she says, it was a very uneven movie. Yes. I don't know how much we needed the middle, which felt a lot like Friday the 13th 5, A New Beginning.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, I agree. Have you ever seen Friday the 13th Part 5?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, yeah. Totally, Jamie. I did not know until you said it, but that's what the vibe some of it gave me.
Sounds like I don't want to watch that. I don't know.
No, you don't.
She goes on, this movie was much better than Kills. I know I'm interjecting a lot on this feedback, but debatable, but also not saying much. But the three movies in this trilogy, I don't feel flow well together. That I can agree with and get behind.
Yes.
Says, I loved all the Easter eggs in the movie between cameos, props, and costuming choices. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know if I picked up on too many of those, but I think I was just too wrapped up in what the fuck is happening. What am I watching? So I didn't pick up on a whole lot of those. So I will give you credit for that. That, yeah, they're probably, we did point out a few. So I know that, yeah, they definitely did their homework and homage with some of those things. So yeah, ended on a good note that we'll agree with for sure.
Yeah. Howard Bannister says, back when I saw the sitcom taping Anything But Love, the audience was allowed to ask the cast any question they wanted. Someone wanted to know if Jamie Lee was going to do any more Halloween sequels, and she answered with a firm no. This was 1991. Guess she changed her mind since then.
Yeah, if only she would have stuck to her guns. No,
no, she could have done 2018 and then closed the door.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And lastly, let's break the heart of Alma Contreras, who says, woohoo, I was wondering if anyone was going to do a podcast on this flick. I liked it, but I'm biased. I remember watching the original Halloween back in the 70s, and I found this storyline way better than the last one, Halloween Kills. They did get me with a few of the jump scares, but I look forward to hearing the cast. In retrospect, are you really looking forward to hearing it now that you've heard it? Do you wish you could go back in time and tell yourself, maybe I don't want them to tarnish the thing that I somehow enjoyed? We're being very brutal today. But it's Halloween, so we're allowed to be slashy ourselves, right?
Yes, we are. Oh, Alma, I do hope that you'll continue to listen to us after you hear this episode. Pake, believe it or not, we have 2 voicemails. And I'm going to play the first one. It's from Mark.
Hello, Pake and Daphne. This is Mark here. I just want to give my feedback for Halloween Ends from 2022. Well, I felt that the movie was way too long with its exposition of the character Corey in the very beginning of the film. Plus, the whole, where are they now in compared to Halloween Kills and where they're at. But gave way too much of a plot from previous versions of the series that they did with, like, Jamie Lloyd, in my opinion, with Corey. They were setting up basically Corey to play the next big thing or the next boogeyman, which I understand, but honestly, they already did that with another series or this version within the series. They can't really do that again. You know, it's like, oh, he focuses in on him and all, you know, everything goes, the evil goes into him. And then we kind of neutered Michael Myers at a certain point, and then Michael Myers is there as his dog and he beats up on him to do what he needs on occasions. And then we get the callbacks to, very similar to from the original film, when that woman gets stabbed in her house with a knife right through the wall, and the look to and from with the arm, like the head tilt to and from. Too much. It's just way too much. Honestly, there was too much going on with the exposition of certain characters, and it took too long to get to where Michael was at a certain point. And I think that had to do with how they were filming during the pandemic. And they should have, you know, even during Halloween Kills, they should have taken a break and reevaluated and thought the story through. Because even then, I was not happy with that, with certain aspects in that. I felt kind of like the mob mentality of against Michael and that, you know, Anthony Michael Hall scene and everything else in that particular movie. But in this one, it's like, oh, they're creating a monster. All these kids are creating this monster, and he was created by his parents, and then he meets Michael, and then he becomes Michael or like Michael, and then at the very end. But there were certain things that I did enjoy about it. You know, I loved the gags in it. I loved Christopher Nelson's effects within the particular movie. He did all the effects within all the Halloween movies that came out. Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. He did all the stuff in Fear Street. I follow Christopher on YouTube with Sean Clark, Malfunction. So Christopher has been a great effects artist over the years and has done so much more work. You remember him as the husband in Kill Bill 2, because they actually go back to the wedding, but he actually played the husband in Kill Bill 2 who gets killed. But his effects are really cool, and I really did enjoy it. I honestly, I'm kind of struggling with this particular movie. It took me a few times to watch it, and I'm like, why did I watch this as many times as I did? But anyhow, to me, I was trying to justify it very much like Clerks 3, but at least with Clerks 3, I was able to justify certain things, and I saw what Kevin was doing within it, because I know Kevin Smith and how he writes and he directs and where he gets his story from. But with this one, it was all over the place. And they do leave it at the very end that there is a possibility of a sequel or possible sequels, regardless of Michael Myers. But honestly, it's the end of Jamie Lee Curtis's character. Laurie Strode doesn't have to continue on. She has gone past that, all that good stuff. But honestly, what did they do? The only cool part about it is when they meat grind Michael Myers himself at the end. So he is dead. So Michael Myers is dead. There's no way coming back from that unless he's Jason and he kind of reforms himself. But they're not going to do that with this. They kind of made it more of less a psychological in a sense of pushing through, but when they had that whole vision quest thing between Cody and Michael, and to me, it just lost me there. I'm like, really? Seriously, you gonna do this? But, honestly, it's just another slasher movie that they try to get out. I enjoyed it for what it was, what they gave us at certain points, but I can't really go with the whole story. I really did enjoy the fact that, John Carpenter came back with his son to actually do, Cody Carpenter is actually part of the music that's going on within the film with John Carpenter. Both, John Carpenter and Jamie Lee Curtis were executive producers on the film. So obviously this was their cash cow, and just to put and seal the lid on the coffin, which is Halloween. Now I'm pretty sure, Rob Zombie will probably say, I'm glad I finished it in 2 movies. So, but I'm just curious of what you guys have to say. I'm going to be listening to the podcast. Like I said, I was entertained with some of the gags, the story. Sorry. I see where they were going with it at times, but I think they lost their trail at a certain point. But I don't know. I look forward to what you guys have to say. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Mark. A lot of...
Thanks, Mark, for sharing your thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, and as you've listened to this episode, as we broke down the movie, the nice things and the really good things we did have to say about this movie definitely were about some of the callbacks, and definitely the gags, the practical effects, the kills, and the gore. I think was really good. I just wish they had a congruent story at all to put those things in with.
Yeah, that would have been really nice. So now we're going to listen to our second voicemail from Ben.
Good evening, Daphne and Pake, and happy Halloween to you and your Run for Your Lives listeners. 'Tis I, Ben Beck, host of the Wilhelm Podcast. WilhelmPodcast.com. Halloween episode drops the same day as yours this Monday, October 31st, 2022. Sorry, had to get that cheap plug in. Anyway, I'm calling in or sending a message in to you to talk about Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends, the movie whose tagline should have been, just when you thought Halloween Kills was the worst of the new movies, Halloween Ends comes along and says, hold my pumpkin spice latte. Pumpkin spice latte. I couldn't even say that right. See, an insult that I try to make along the movie isn't even good enough for a movie this horrible. That's right. I'm winging this. I'm not writing this. I'm going off the top of my head because this movie is horrible. I mean, we had 2018 Halloween, which, look, it was a risk to go from to use that as a direct sequel from the first movie from 1978 until now. I mean, it was a great idea to completely avoid all the sequels because, let's face it, they're not all that great. But, they took a risk. 2018 happens, and it works out. It pays off. The movie is fantastic. So when they say, hey, we're going to make 2 more of these, and we have to wait 3 years, actually, 2021, to get Halloween Kills, we're all amped, we're all excited, and we get it, and it's horrible. It blows. We're all so disappointed. Yes, there's a small amount of people out there who are happy with the way it turned out. And look, that's the way it is for any horrible movie. I mean, let's be real. There are people out there that love the Twilight series and we don't know why. But, it's so bad that when we say, when they say like, yeah, we're going to make 1 more, Halloween Ends, it's coming out next year, it's going to be the last one. We're going to put an end to this Laurie Strode and Michael Myers saga. We're all like, okay, it can't be any worse than Halloween Kills, can it? And then it is. I mean, it's an hour and 50 minutes long, and the first hour and 30 minutes are completely fucking pointless. Completely pointless. I mean, we get Aaron or not Aaron, Corey. My apologies. See, he's not even worth remembering his name. We get Corey,
I did the
who
same
it
thing.
seems like by the end of the movie, his entire purpose is literally just to turn Allison against Laurie in the end. So that when Laurie finally battles Michael in the end, she has no allies. Nobody believes her. It's made to look like Laurie killed Corey. That rhymed. Check that out. Sort of rhymed. So we get an hour and 30 minutes of this whole buildup of the disciple of Michael Myers. That's really, it seems like the only point of it is meant to kind of, again, show Allison turn Allison against Laurie. An hour and a half build up to that moment that lasts all of 2 minutes. Come on. It was totally fucking pointless. She turns around and she goes to help Laurie anyway. So, I mean, it was a legitimate moment where I thought Michael might have actually taken out Laurie and then died on the table, which would have been a great ending because Laurie made the sacrifice to stop Michael. Now, I do have to say, the final 20 minutes of the movie, the final battle between Laurie and Michael, leading up to them parading Michael through the town with everybody in the town suffering behind them, taking him to the junkyard or wherever it was, where there still happens to be bodies, by the way. Nobody ever talks about that. That literally just happened before this. So apparently they're just parading them through the junkyard while these bodies are still fresh and lying there in the junkyard. Go figure. That whole last 20 minutes I thought was a great ending to the story, again, to the Laurie and Michael saga. But it feels like that when they wrote Halloween Kills and they got to the end of it, the writers and the producers all said, hey, we know how we're going to end this story. We know how the story's going to get. Everybody at the table, we know how this is how it's going to end. Great, boss. Now, how do we get there? Fuck if I know. An hour and 30 minutes of totally pointless filler for 20 minutes of a somewhat worthwhile ending to this story of Laurie and Michael. It was useless. It was pointless. The movie is absolutely horrible. And I'm kind of glad now, as much as I like the franchise, this story's over because these last 2 movies ruined it. I hate saying this, but I might go back to the sequels. Halloween H2O, kind of like it. Very underrated. Halloween Resurrection, not so much. We can forget about that one. But yeah, wanted to leave you my 2 cents on this movie because you guys know I've been incredibly vocal about it online. So wanted to leave you these 2 notes. Congratulations on a 3rd Halloween special. That's fantastic. I hope Wilhelm gets there eventually. Again, I gave the cheap plug in the beginning that I'm releasing my Halloween special on the same day as yours because it's Halloween. Why not? But can't wait to be back on. You guys are doing an awesome job. Keep up the great work. And once again, happy Halloween. And I'll talk to you.
Thank you, Ben.
Ben, I'm not sure how you really feel about this movie. You didn't like it, I'm assuming.
I thought he loved it. No. Yeah. So yeah, for sure. If you want to hear more of Ben's incredible way with words, especially when he's not just completely off the dome, but he has notes. Yeah, Wilhelm, go check it out. Me and Daphne have both been on there a couple times doing different things. And yeah, he's got a Halloween special. I know I do the plugs a little bit later, but since he led into that one, yeah, I think we mentioned it on Friday's episode as well, that yeah, him and Jamie are putting up an episode that is out today as you're listening to this. If you're listening on Halloween, that yeah, you can go check out their top 5, I think, Halloween or scary movie reboots, horror reboots.
Yeah. Well, if you'd like to send us feedback, you can do so by going to our Facebook page at facebook.com/runforyourlivespodcast. You can email us at runforyourlivespodcast@gmail.com. Tweet at us at RFYLpodcast. DM us on Instagram at runforyourlivespodcast. If you're enjoying the show, please tell your friends. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and pretty much all other podcast players, including YouTube. Go to runforyourlivespodcast.com for all the links you'll ever need and give us a review on Apple Podcasts, as that is the best way to share the love and get us out there even more. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, we do. Of course, talking about sharing the love, going to go ahead and give some shout outs to things going on in the podcast universe around us. My other podcast, Strange Indeed, as we are covering The Midnight Club on Netflix, still going week to week, one episode a week there. And then also talking about Halloween specials. Special episode over on Strange Indeed right now, today, if you're listening on Monday, October 31st. Go check it out. Me, Rima, Jason, and Jade broke down and covered, and really in depth, especially Jade brought this to us, and it was really awesome. But we covered 1961's The Innocents. It's a Criterion Collection movie, adaptation based on The Turn of the Screw by Henry James, and I think that's his name, pretty sure. As I'm just pulling that out of thin air. But yeah, the adaptation of Turn of the Screw, which it was great because me and Rima covered The Haunting of Bly Manor a while back when that came out, which is also another adaptation of that same story. So we kind of compared and contrasted with Bly Manor a little bit, but then also looked in the themes and differences with just The Innocents. And it turned out to be a really fun conversation for sure. So check that out as well. And then over in the Podcastica realm, over House Podcastica and their other podcasts there. Speaking of Jason and Jade, also joined by Penny as they are breaking down Dead to Me, as they're doing the first 2 seasons in like 5-episode blocks, 4 episodes there leading up to season 3 coming up soon. So if you're a fan of Dead to Me, go check their like recaps and coverage of those episodes leading up to the new season. Andor still going on, and I feel terrible. I've fallen behind. How am I behind on Star Wars shows? I'm just so many things, but I've got some Andor binging and catching up to do because I know that this season has gotten better and better and better and better. And Jonathan and James have been covering that over there, giving a lot of their Star Wars knowledge and genius and nerdom into that podcast. So definitely go check that out on the Star Wars TV cast. And then Handmaid's Tale is still going, but a lot of other stuff has wrapped. So plenty of other stuff to go check out. So House of the Dragon is wrapped, but you can go check their coverage. Cast of the Rings with the Rings of Power is wrapped, but you can go check that coverage. She-Hulk is done, but you can catch that. Podcast is a lot of good stuff. But as I said, yes, Handmaid's Tale still running. You guys are killing it over there weekly.
Yeah, we're down to the final 2 episodes. I can't believe that the season has gone so quick, but a lot happened this season, and it's giving us this look at the life outside of Gilead, not just what's going on inside Gilead. So it's
Canada.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. There are some connections that remind me of other things going on in the world right now. So sometimes this show hits a little too close to home. But we do have just 2 episodes left, and we'll be all wrapped up.
All right, awesome. So yeah, anybody watching Handmaid's Tale, go check out their coverage for sure. Of course, Walking Dead cast, still covering the last 8, these final episodes of The Walking Dead. We're coming down to the wire, and it's kind of sad. Just a few episodes left, and it's all over. Except for all the random spin-offs that they keep doing that make it feel not so over, but the flagship show is ending. That's actually a little inside scoop. That's my plan. Literally, after I'm done recording this, is watching the newest episode of Walking Dead. Is like plan A.
Now, are you watching just the episode? You're not watching like the AMC Plus one that comes out?
Yeah, I'm not watching the in advance episode, so I'm keeping up with what just regular AMC is getting. That way it just lines up to I can get a new episode for myself every week up till the finale. So
yeah, I feel like this half of the season has been really good. I'm just not ready for it to end. I thought I was. I'm not. But I am excited that we'll all be together to watch it in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That I'm looking forward to.
It's crazy how soon that's coming. And I feel like I still have nothing prepared, but I mean, I'm good. Flights booked, hotels booked. I mean, everything I need. I just...
But you feel like there's...
it's coming that quick. Yeah, I feel like there's so much more I have to prepare for first. I don't know.
But you don't. You don't. It's like a vacation. You just get to go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So again, if you want to come join us in San Francisco on the weekend of November 18th, 19th, 20th for the finale, that 20th, that Sunday, podcastica.com/TWD finale party. Get your tickets. Plan your travel. Come hang out with us in San Fran. Watch The Walking Dead series finale. It'll be fun.
Yes, it's going to be fun. It's going to be so fun.
Because then, lastly, TV podcast industry's always got to give a good shout out to them, what they got going on. They're covering Pennyworth right now, working their way through that. And then they're covering the Marvel special presentation over on Disney Plus of Werewolf by Night, which is great. They released that right before Halloween. Perfect time for that.
Yes.
Yeah, so go check out their coverage of that for sure. I really, really enjoyed that one. And you just might get to hear how much we enjoyed it at a date in the future. Who knows? Maybe.
Potentially. Wink, wink. Oh, Pake, this is when you would normally say, that's what's going on in the podcast universe, but what's coming up right here on Run for Your Lives?
Mm-hmm.
Well, nothing.
Mm-mm.
It's...
Halloween Ends was such a bad movie that we decided nothing is coming up next. We're done. We gave up on movies forever. We're never watching another movie, talking about them again. Podcast is dead. No. We're just taking our season break as we...
Yes. Now, you guys know that we normally take a break at the end of the season, but because of the timing of when this break would have been, we couldn't leave you hanging in October with nothing. Because this is a monster movie podcast. We have to bring the monsters. So we decided to keep pushing for a bit longer so we could bring you It-tober and end the month with Halloween Ends. But we're going to take our break now for the next month. And then we will be back on December 2nd with episode 6 of season 5.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm pretty sure we know exactly what that is, but
yeah, we do, but we're not going to tell you. We like to keep secrets sometimes. And
yeah, so follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, follow us in all those places, and you will be the first to find out earlier in that week when we're coming back what that movie is going to be, and you can give your feedback then.
Yeah, and as you know, I'm putting together our movie list for the season, the ones that we'll pick from. If there's something that you want us to cover, please be sure to reach out. I know a few of you reached out to ask us to do the Poseidon Adventure. We just did that one not that long ago. You know, shoot us an email. Let us know. We are happy to add to our list. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we just randomly pick one, and it could be the one that you suggested.
Yeah, there's always a lot of great movies that are newer coming out, too. So if you see any newer movies that fit what we do over here and you think we'd enjoy them, let us know.
Yeah, we're definitely into it. And it can be a foreign one, too. We're not afraid of doing subtitled movies. We've done them before, and we're definitely down for films that may just not be on our radar because they're not in English. So, yeah. Well, with that, we've come to the end of our Halloween special episode. Thanks for listening, everyone. I'm Daphne.
And I'm Pake.
And if you have to run from a movie that sucked worse than you thought it ever could, you better run for your lives.
Bye-bye. Corey, why?
Happy Halloween!